Welcome to Mike's Organic Cafe. Today I'll show you how to make a granny style apple pie using minimal organic ingredients so it doesn't make the waistline bigger. It's true that organic ingredients are less damaging so you can eat more, but that being said, it should be worked into your calorie count for the day and eaten after a workout or fast, or if you're on a carb diet rotation only. Stick to the end to find out how I show you the best way to consume this delicious apple pie after your workout. Ingredients for the crust vary depending on how big your pie tray is, but I'll be using 250 grams white baker's flour, half of that butter, so 125 grams, and 1 tablespoon of flavorless baking syrup made with monk fruit sweetener to give it that doughy texture so it doesn't go flat in the oven, and half a cup of ice water to help everything combine. Ingredients for the apple pie stuffing are organic Granny Smith apples. You can of course use whichever apples you like, but mine are growing in my backyard, so I'll use those. They're just a bit blemished, but you just peel the parts that you don't want off. Also, I'll use the apple skin, so it's not all fructose. You get some fiber too. A few small squares of butter, I think it's around 100 grams, cinnamon, a quarter cup of arrowroot flour, and half a cup of monk fruit sweetener, erythritol icing sugar. We'll do the crust first, baked halfway, then let it rest. Step 1, preheat your oven on 180 to 200 degrees. Then with 250 G's white baker's flour already in the food processor, add 125 butter, the tablespoon of syrup, then pulse gradually adding the water. You'll know when it's ready, when it's a rocky consistency, like the custard tart dough from my other video. By the way, I thought I added too much cinnamon then, but they were so delicious and light they turned out perfect. Check out the video. Step 2. On a lightly floured surface, place the dough, then with your hands squish it together so it can be kneaded to make it thin enough to form the pie crust. Then put the pie tray on it to see the diameter. Then if you have a bigger pie tray, like this one, you can cut it out with it giving you extra dough to play with and to avoid shrinking in the oven, or just cut more like we did the custard tart dough with the back edge of a knife. Note, any leftover dough will be used for the lattice after the pie crust cooks halfway and the stuffing is ready. Step 3. Gently place it into your pie tray, pressing the edges down, then pushing it onto the walls. Mine was too thin in some areas, but the dough sticks nicely together because of the syrup. So just top yours up like I did mine if you have any thin bits. Then with baking scissors, cut any excess dough, being sure to leave at least half a centimeter on the rim in case of shrinkage while baking. Then poke air holes to avoid a large bubble in the center when heat is applied. Step 4. Place it on a baking tray or pizza dish just in case the butter seeps through a bit. It shouldn't, but better to be safe than add extra cleaning for nothing. Bake for 12 to 15 minutes, halfway, then take it out and set it aside on a cooling rack. Now the stuffing. Step 1. While the pie crust is cooking, you don't have to wait. You can move straight onto the stuffing. I found an easier way to save more time for cutting the apples as thin or as thick as you like. If you have a food processor and you're not doing it by hand, you can put an attachment for slicing the apples. Just peel off the ugly parts of your apples, then cut into 4, removing the hairy bottom and the seeds, and just put them and press down for an easier chop. Step 2. Once done, move to a large frying pan. Heat up your butter to melt, then add the apples, the sugar substitute, and the cinnamon. I add a lot, but you don't have to. Let the apples cook and sweat out the water, then combine the arrowroot flour, mix together. It should be like a sludge. Then you're ready. Turn off the heat. Now combining and the lattice finish. Step 1. With the pie crust cooled, add the apple stuffing, pushing it down to get it all even, then set it aside. Step 2. Remove the excess dough we set aside earlier from the cling wrap. Knead out the rest of the dough as thick or as thin as you like, but try to do it as thick as the pie crust, remembering it will get thicker once cooked, but not by much, as you can see with my pie crust here. Also, if your dough is sticky, add a bit more baker's flour to dry it out. Step 3. Use your rolling pin thickness as a ruler to get a straight cut. I did mine thick so it looks like Granny's authentic country apple pie. Step 4. Place the longest in the middle, going vertically, then 2 more beside it about the same thickness as the lattice. Take the middle one, folding it up halfway, then horizontally place one in the middle. Then lift up the other 2 sides and do the same. Then cut any excess dough, evening out the rim of the pie. Step 5. Bake in the oven for around 20 minutes or so on 180 to 200 degrees or until the edge is brown. And we've made a country style apple pie Granny used to make, but transforming it using organic ingredients. Now for the good part. Get whichever collagen protein you like, get double thick cream, mix the two with a spoon, cut a slice of apple pie, pour the collagen cream mixture on top and enjoy. The best way to get your protein, carbs and delicious dessert after a workout. Thanks for watching and be seeing you in Mike's Organic Cafe.